I want to talk about the member profile worksheet. That assignment is coming due shortly, so I thought we should go over this. So go to page 8 in your congressional simulation workbook, and you will find the worksheet. It's several pages long because it includes some websites that you may want to use in the completion of this. But the project isn't terribly long. So you want to copy and paste this worksheet into your own document. That way you can work on it, save it, and then upload it to the appropriate Blackboard box at a later date. So fill in your information here. Now we want to know something about the congressional district that your member is representing. So the state, the district. I'm going to use Carolyn Maloney, New York District 12 as an example for this. We want to know things about the racial makeup, the socioeconomic data of the constituents in the member district. And so you will have some places here on the worksheet that you want to be filling out. And this is information that's pretty easy to find. If we go over to a wiki site here, we can go over to District 12, and we have New York District 12 wiki right here. We can see that Carolyn Maloney is representing that district, that she is a Democrat. We see that it's an urban district, population of over 700,000. The median income in this district is 107,000, which is nearly twice the national median. We can see the ethnicity breakdown here as well. And so that provides us some really important information about this district and who her constituents are. Economic sectors, major employers. So this is an important piece to have because the representative is certainly going to be beholden to the voters of his or her district, and in this case, Carolyn Maloney's. We want to know what kind of businesses are there in that community that are providing jobs. And so you're going to want to look and see. I wouldn't expect any farmers to be in Manhattan, right? So you want to look for economic sectors. I would imagine things like finance would be really important, but you might want to also identify actual major employers as well, because they will have influence. Every business person is interested in politics. There's some other information that matters as well about the district. Cook Partisan Voting Index for member districts. So we can go back to that wiki and we can find that information. Cook PVI is right there. D plus 31. D for Democrat would be an R if it was a Republican, and plus 31. That's a very strong Democratic district, and because that number is 31, that's very, very high on the PVI. If it was lower, if it was 4, 5, or 6, well, that tells us something as well, why it is definitely on the Democratic side of the sheet. It does suggest that there are also people with other views as well, and so somebody representing that district really would need to pay attention when it comes to voting. Carolyn Maloney is pretty safe in that district as long as she follows her party in that particular case, but that won't always be the case. The next thing on that worksheet, I'll bring that back up for you. You can see that I want to know the district vote won by Donald Trump and Obama in the corresponding years. So if we go back up and look at that wiki, again, over here on the left, I can see that it gives me that information. Obama in 2008 won 80% of the vote. In 2012, he won 76.9%, so his support went down a little bit. In 2016, we can see that President Trump only won 13.5% of the vote. So not surprising that that occurred. It is interesting that Clinton actually had stronger support than President Obama did in those years. So that's telling us about the district. We're learning about the ideological makeup, income, racial, ethnic identities in that area. So if we keep going through the worksheet here, member profile, so we're going to focus on that particular member, in this case Carolyn Maloney. Party affiliation, she's a Democrat. We can look at the wiki pages and find out years of service in the House, the highest level of education that she achieved, and we'd want to know, again, her electoral experience. So we could go to her wiki and we could see vote won by member in the 2018 general election. All of you are representing people who have been in office for a number of years, so you should be able to find the information. A lot of it will be wiki, but there are other places, and when we get to the bottom of the worksheet, we'll talk about that. I'm interested in knowing what they did for a career prior to serving in the House. Were they lawyers? Were they teachers? Were they small business people, that kind of thing. Now here's another important thing. PAC, Political Action Committee, contributions to the most recent campaign. Now this is really critical. Don't confuse PAC sector with actual named PACs. And what you're looking for is a named PAC. So I can go back up here again, and I'm going to go to an open secret page. Yeah, here we go. So opensecrets.org, I typed in Carolyn Maloney there, and we're going to bring up a search result. So I'll bring that into your screen. Now, when I was talking about sectors, here's an example. Securities and investment, that's a sector. Real estate is a sector. And so what I want to know is actual PACs. And PACs have names. So under Rock Holdings and BlackRock, we have some financial ones, correct? All of these here are financial. Museum of Modern Art, that's very interesting. Now, again, read carefully. We have the total columns. Individuals connected to the Museum of Modern Art donated $15,500, but there was no PAC connected to the Museum of Modern Art that contributed money. That's zero. But if I go up to Rock Holdings, I can see that their PAC associated with Rock Holdings contributed $10,000, which is the current legal limit for them. But individual members at that particular company also donated another $18,700. And so the Political Action Committee is what is connected to the contributor, Rock Holdings, but individual members at that corporation also made donations. So make sure that you're really clear about what it is that you're giving me for information. The assignment is asking you to give PAC information. As the semester goes on, we'll talk about PACs. So members' current committee assignments. Again, you might find that on the wiki. You might find it on a page that Carolyn Maloney has. You could look at house.gov and look that up as well. Again, things like sponsored legislation, wiki, or house.gov, or her own web pages. But it is likely, where she's been in Congress for so many years, that she has sponsored all kinds of legislation. Now, we're in college, we cite our sources. So make sure you provide the sources used to complete the worksheet. And here's actually a list of resources here to help you complete this worksheet. There's all kinds of options here. But if you have difficulties, contact me and explain your situation, and I'll try to nudge you in the right direction. You will lose points if you leave some of those blanks, those lines blank, right? And so it's much easier to simply contact me. We can work this out and find the information in order for you to complete your worksheet. There's no reason why you can't complete that worksheet in its entirety. This is publicly available information. I've been doing this for years. I've never not had a student find that information. So make sure that you contact me and ask for help if you need it. So don't wait to the very last minute as well, just as a heads up. So there we have it, the member profile worksheet.